What's going on, Facebooks and YouTubes and Twitters and volunteerroadshow.com? How you doing? We're back at the Tennessee Tap House, Peters Road, Knoxville, Tennessee. Come out and join us. Thought we'd hang out for lunch every Monday. Got my good friend Jeremy from Blue Water Climate Control, who was on the USS Tennessee, by God. What was it like? Was that a pretty new boat?
No, it's old.
Oh,
it's halfway through. Basically, its life.
So how much more times it got on the water?
About 15, 20 years, I guess.
Really?
Yeah.
What was it good at? What did it do? Was it a destroyer? Was it a sub?
It's a submarine. Yeah.
Submarine.
Yeah, submarine. Yeah, ballistic missile submarine. So.
Oh, so it's launched a few missiles then, huh?
It's one of those things we're not allowed to talk about.
Oh, come on, man.
Yeah. Those things we're not allowed to talk about.
Hey, see, he always try to get people to do that, man.
Yeah, try to get them to say something, get me in trouble.
Exactly. There's certain things you can't say about certain brotherhoods.
Get me arrested by FBI, like live on Facebook and YouTube.
I'm sure we've got some YouTube's videos on it.
Probably, I'm sure.
Anyway. So, what do you want to talk about? This is your show. I'm just here to help you out with the technology, get you started.
Throw it on me right now, huh? So
what do you want to talk about?
I thought we'd talk about Muschamp getting fired. See what you guys think about that. So, what do you think? Do you think it's fair to make a coaching change in COVID year? What do you think about that?
Well, I wouldn't have fired him in the middle of the season like that. I'd have waited till the end. But I think it may have some recruiting ramifications. Do we still have that same early, signing day like we did last year? What has COVID even done to that? Because that's supposed to start in December.
Yeah, I don't know if I haven't seen any changes on that. What do you think, Bill? Is it fair to fire a coach in the middle of the COVID year? I mean, with all the things that have happened, or limited practices, or playing a different schedule than they would normally play, and what do you think?
Well, I'll tell you this here. I think I would fight it to a certain extent, but with me personally, I wouldn't, because they owe me a lot of money.
Yeah.
I can do early retirement. And, of course, they say you have to try to find work or whatever. We see what Butch Jones did.
Yeah.
I like his job. I would love to be whatever they want to call it. He's the quality controller, or he goes fill the gas tanks up. Hey, I'll do that for $15 million.
But is Butch Jones ever coaching again, you think?
Personally, yes, he will. But
so you think this is his last year getting paid off, right? Isn't it?
I don't think he deserved to coach
I think
again.
this is one of our last years on him. Well, I don't think he tried to get a job just to stick it to us.
Most definitely, man. I mean, would you get a job if they owe you $15 million?
Well, if I could get more money somewhere else, yeah, I'd get a job. But if I couldn't, he was damaged goods. He was run down so much at Tennessee with that trash can crap.
Oh, man.
And all that stuff he did.
Yeah, he had a lot of silliness that kind of went with him, too. I mean, it wasn't like he just, like with Muschamp, he just wasn't doing a good job. But there's not been any kind of like,
but his players
silliness.
love him, though.
Yeah. Was that Muschamp or Jones?
Oh, yes. He's got very loyal players.
Yeah.
I mean, Muschamp won't have a problem getting a job, though. I don't see him. He's a good coach as far as with the players. The players love the guy. I mean, there's a reason he get those recruits that coming in. Wherever school he goes to, the kids end up coming.
So is he on Pruitt's radar then?
I don't want him.
You don't want him?
I mean, no, I'll take that back. As a coordinator,
yeah,
I would. Yes. Great, because that would be a heck of a recruit.
I've already seen an article about that, Billy.
Yeah,
this morning.
There's already talk, so it's out there.
I personally don't think we need to go after him. I mean, we need something new. We need something fresh.
Well, he would be new and fresh for us.
Well, not when it comes to wins and losses.
Yeah, that's true. Well, he might be a genius defensive coordinator. He's been good wherever he's been at defensive coordinator.
Yeah, but you got to think of one piece of the pie. The kids see that. Recruiting tool, that's huge. I want to go to a school that's winning, or a proven guy that's winning.
Are you telling me Matt Muschamp wouldn't help us recruit? He would help us recruit.
We are good at recruiting right now. I mean,
yeah, but he would be even better.
I mean, we don't have an issue with recruiting, Bobby. We have
we got an issue with something, though.
We have an issue with winning.
It might go back to recruiting.
I mean, it goes to coaching. And yes, I'll say he'll be a good addition, but right now I don't think he's the right piece of the pie that we need right now.
If we're already asking for pay cuts,
do you think he's
he costs
personality-wise, he would go with Pruitt? Because aren't he and Pruitt both real strong personalities? Would there be issues there, you think?
Me personally, I would like that.
Well, I mean, you're right. People who are in charge who like that are the ones who usually do well. And
the reason I like that because you have to have people on your squad that are no men.
Yeah.
Because if you get everybody on your team or your coaching staff and they all yes men, that they always saying yes, that you're the greatest thing ever, and you're still losing, that's not going to get it. You need some people to make you work harder.
Yeah.
You got to have it almost to the point where this guy behind you have a chance to take your job. And you coach that much better or you play that much better.
Yeah.
Right. That's the way I like it.
Drives you and pushes you.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. Well, now, let me ask you this question. So we talked about his buyouts, like $13-15 million.
Whose?
For
Muschamp. Is it that much?
Yeah, 15. So the question is the money worth it? Let me be more specific. Is it, if you're winning, bottom line, will you make $15 million more by winning than by having a coach there and not paying his buyouts? That makes sense. You understand what I'm trying to ask?
If I was Will Muschamp, this is what I'd do. I'd take a year off.
No, I'm talking South Carolina.
I know.
From South Carolina's perspective.
Oh, South Carolina.
From their perspective, is it worth $15 million to start winning?
You mean the buyout? Well, somebody obviously thinks it's worth it.
What do you think? Is it worth?
To win? Yes.
10 wins worth $15 million.
Yes.
Bottom line, like when everything's added up. Well, as a university, I'm going to make $15 million more by winning than I am by staying the way I am.
I'm still against the buyout situation, man. I mean, I get it where these agents have created a security blanket if you do get fired for anything or whatever, and it's not your fault or a situation like that. Because there's nowhere in the world you can go and get a job and have it in your contract. If you get fired, you get money. Typically, when you get fired and you get money from jobs, it's called severance pay because of certain situations of the job.
It's like 6 months and pat you on the butt and say, nice knowing you.
Exactly. Yeah. But when you're talking about $15 million, it's more than just coaching now. They're in it for more than just that. Yeah. It's all about the money, though. And that's what I don't like about the money situations of a lot of things, because it has watered down the sport, the games, and everything so much now where you don't know if they're really into it for the kids or the job or whatever. And, of course, hey, we're businessmen. We want to be able to have that security blanket and have money and stuff, but the way they've done it now, it's changed so much stuff in the world now.
Yeah, well, it's not going to change until they make a larger, organizational change, because if this team over here is not going to pay you a buyout or put a buyout in your contract, and this team will, then they're never going to sign with this team, right? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's never going to change. So,
you want to go to the press conference?
Sure, let's go to the press conference.
I probably see some of the things that Kirby probably was talking about.
Let me know if y'all get the good audio over here on Facebook.
Lots of history, right? So I'm sitting there. Coach Ansley's showing tape yesterday to the players, and I'm sitting there looking, and I'm trying to figure out what year this video actually was. And it's like 2013, so, but we have lots of history, and I will say this, there's you can see that Chad has his thumbprint on it, maybe more so than Gus, but there's still a lot of things and flavor that shows up that's it's still Gus Malzahn's offense.
I wanted to ask you about the game 2 years ago. Obviously, y'all had trouble running the football down there, but the way Jarrett played, and I think y'all converted like 10 third downs, and it seems like a lot of them were third and long. Was that, given the magnitude and beating a top 25 team on the road, is that as good of a performance as Jarrett's had?
Well, he played really good that day. You're right, we couldn't run the ball. We couldn't block them up front. They had a very good defensive front, and I felt like our wide receivers made a lot of plays that day. Our O-line held up in protection enough for us to get the ball out. It was very typical. I think the score might have been 17-0. I might be wrong there, but kind of had a history there playing against Auburn that seems like if you can get through the first couple of drives, they play so fast and just getting accustomed to
I
playing.
don't hear any audio, do you?
Yeah, I hear
The
it.
defensive
Audio
guys
is good.
yesterday, if
Yep.
you look, the teams that
Yeah, but it's
kinda
not coming
play
over.
Auburn every year.
Everybody's
have
saying
more
audio is great.
familiarity,
Oh, is it?
with
Yeah.
how the offense is run, and teams that don't
Oh,
play
it's
them
'cause
every
it's
year,
over there. Good.
seem to struggle. So it's important to understand what Auburn tries to do philosophically on offense, and we've really worked hard yesterday to kind of get that ingrained to our defensive players.
Teresa Walker, then David.
Yeah, Coach, with how the SEC has tried to add an extra day for makeup games at the end of the year, how confident are you that you'll be able to get the full 10 games in this season after what we saw last week? And then this morning, the Ole Miss A&M game has now been postponed. Or do you just take this the rest of the season day by day and hope to finish at this point?
Well, obviously we can't predict the future. I believe we all knew.
We're
when,
listening to the live press
we
conference
started
for
this,
Jeremy
players,
Pruitt.
coaches, there was no guarantees. So, you know, that's why I've been really proud of our football team, the way they go to work, the way they've stayed positive, and you know, through the circumstances, right? So I think it says a lot about them as people and about their character. And I know they're excited about the opportunity this Saturday, so hopefully we'll get a chance to play.
David.
Jeremy, on the pay cuts, was that something your assistants had brought to you to discuss, or were those decisions kind of made independently on their own?
Yeah, you know, David, I wasn't going to really talk about it, but you know, with this whole thing, the communication and you know, during the middle of the season, I did not specifically sit down with any assistant coach. I knew that they were being approached about it. I didn't know the outcome until Blake wrote the article on Friday. So, and what Blake wrote was factual, right? So, but I do believe, like I said before, that the final story has not been written there yet. So it's a fluid situation, and with contracts, things change. So there'll be opportunities, you know, to make adjustments as we as we move on.
Thanks.
Brent Hubbs and Mike Wilson.
Coach, two things. One, you said your team was as healthy as you've been. I'm assuming that means Jared is back. And two, from a defensive standpoint, as you self-scout and look around the league, scoring is obviously up. Do you think that's because of the lack of a normal preseason, or do you think this is a shift in philosophy in the SEC offensively? What do you think the differences are in this league for scoring?
Probably a little bit of all what you said there, Brent. It's just, you know, there's lots of really, really good players playing this game right now. There's quarterbacks that are prepared coming out of high school that can get people the ball out there in space, and you know, if you're committed to getting the ball out on the perimeter and you've got good players out there, you know, lots of times you ain't got to block all the big guys up in front, right? So when you line up and run inside zone and you're going to run it 10 times, I mean, you're talking about 6 guys. It's got to block 6 guys exactly right with a back hitting it up in there. Whereas if you get the ball out in space and you got playmakers, guys can create explosive plays just like that. So it's something that I feel like you got to be able to do both. You have to be able to run the ball consistently in this league, but you got to create explosive plays. There's nothing like getting yards in chunks, and that's something that we've really been trying to focus on. You know, you mentioned it, somebody did, about the last time we played Auburn. I don't know how many explosive plays we had that day. We couldn't run the football, but we could create explosive plays, and that was the difference in the game. So probably the two most important things when you talk about outcomes of games is number one, turnovers, and number two, explosive plays, whether you create them or you give them up.
On Jared, do you feel like he's going to be good to go for Saturday, or is that still day-to-day?
Well, he practiced yesterday, but all the other guys took a lot of reps
I think
over the
JG's going to
last,
start
3 practices. So,
normally he would commit
we'll see how
to
the
that
rest
right
of the
just
week
then,
goes
so.
here. But I was
Surely
really
you can't be
excited about how
surprised.
these other guys continued to work. And I thought Jarrett had a good day yesterday. So, to me, it seems to be a little more confidence offensively, especially with our younger guys. Just having a better idea to how to execute at a higher level.
Mike?
Yeah. Jeremy, what is Sean Schamberger's status with your team right now?
Sean is working on academics. This has been a very unusual, really circumstance with this whole deal. You try to do school from home, not being in person. Again, when you talk about tutors and things like that. So one of the things that he's focusing on, he's going to focus on academics the rest of the semester.
So you don't expect him back with your team then this season?
No.
Really?
Wow.
All right, we'll go to Austin Price and Blake Topmeyer.
We'll listen to Austin and we'll get off for the press conference.
Recruiting into the spring, how does that affect each staff, not just you guys, but around the league? And what kind of pressure does that put on for evaluations, and then what kind of detriment do you think that is to not just the 21 class, but now creeping into the 22 class?
Well, for us as coaches, if whatever tape that you get, you just have to evaluate it. Obviously, there wasn't any spring evals when you watch people in person. There wasn't any summer camps. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of football going on throughout the country. It's not consistent everywhere, so the opportunities for guys to improve their game is not there for everybody. The ones that I worry about are really the student athletes that are being recruited. The fact that they can't go on campuses, which I understand why they can't, but I can't imagine making.
All right, I think we've heard enough of that.
Yeah.
What do y'all think about that? Anything y'all want to talk about out of that press conference?
Well, what about this? What about this statement here? Pay cuts. He said the final chapter hasn't been written on that. What does that mean?
Probably somebody getting fired.
Somebody getting fired, or
Yep.
maybe there's been some reconsidering over the weekend after getting all the attention. Maybe
Basically, he said what he had to say. He didn't want to say it ain't my business, it ain't my job.
Yeah.
And that's basically what he said. So I don't think it's a firing situation. I think some of the coaches woke up and smelled the coffee of what reality is about to happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we got Justin Sanday all the way from Oklahoma watching us. Space Mountain, Orlando Nelson, how you doing? He says he's been busy, been missing us. Holly Thompson, Fuse Avatar, how you doing? Who we got over on Facebook, Billy?
Let's see here. As Philip Weldy, he said Nick Saban's coffee boy.
He talking about
Muschamp.
No, that's who you
Butch.
Butch, yeah.
Flint Williams over here, he said, we know who the VFLs are on our staff now, and after the news report on voluntary pay reduction. Hey, man, I'm gonna tell you,
I wouldn't have taken a pay cut. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Because, you got to think about this here. I understand what's going on, and you got to think about that these guys have bills they have to pay. And I understand that they make a lot of money, but you don't know who all bills they're paying.
Hey.
They may have already said, I'm going to pay mom's bills, dad's bills, brother bills. They got people to take care of. And when you make that kind of money, a lot of people come at you and ask you for money.
Hey, and toilet paper fitting to get expensive, Billy. I've already been hearing they've been having shortages on toilet paper.
But, Bobby, as long as I got water, I don't need toilet paper, man. I'll take a shower.
Yeah.
We got a hello from Ohio. How you doing, Amy?
Man.
So he said the young quarterbacks had good practice, and he said Jarrett practiced yesterday but didn't commit to him starting on Saturday. What do you think about that?
Well, I had a reliable source, and I know this to be a fact. There were 2 starters at a high school game this Friday, and my friend who also does YouTube, which y'all know who it is, went up and talked to him because they used to play for his high school that he follows, and said, what's the deal with JG and our quarterbacks? And they both said JG is by far the best quarterback on the team right now.
Okay. Well,
I don't have anything to say about it. I mean,
players are backing him still. I guess.
That's Samaglia and Albright both said that. They were at the Greenville game.
All right.
And I know they said it.
I mean, I've already heard that already. It's just
like it's not even close. They said it's not even close in practice.
And I mean, and see, people keep going back to where they said that everybody's not a great practice player.
Yeah, that's true.
And everybody is not Allen Iverson either.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, like no one is.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
We're talking about kids that have no, how would I say, we haven't seen that pedigree yet that they can just do it. We're going off what they did in high school. And, of course, we saw the other 2 quarterbacks that we have on the roster right now, what they did last year. We still haven't seen any progression. Everybody's saying, hey, well, they haven't played or whatever. Well, they're not doing something right to be able to play.
Right. Well, we don't have someone who's so physically gifted. They're going to overcome, they're going to turn a bad play like Vince Young and Cam Newton and some of those other players out there who have been able to overcome bad plays by just physical ability. We don't have a player like that.
Don't forget, JG is a Butch Jones recruit.
Yeah, I mean,
what does that matter, though? I mean,
exactly, because go look at Butch Jones recruits and look who's in the NFL.
That's true.
There's a lot of kids in the NFL because they got a chance to show their talents when they got to the NFL.
I said that because everybody said that JG is Jeremy's boy.
Yeah, and that's what I've been trying to say, too. They're saying that. And I can't stand when people do such things like his parents are giving the school a lot of money. What do they have to do with playing time?
Do we know that to be true, or is that just hearsay?
That's what I'm saying. That's when people.
We don't even know that to be true.
I don't like the he say, she say stuff.
Somebody show me a check or something document, and then we'll talk about it. But I do see the point of bringing in Harrison Bailey if he's going to be our future, especially if there's going to be some transfers coming anyway. Let's get him out there.
No,
but I still want to beat Auburn.
That's not how you do it, then. If you just heard that, people have said that it's not even close, but we want to put a kid in that's not even ready.
Well, I do see where we might have done that with JG, like routed his psyche.
Yeah, we did that for sure.
I'm going to ask you a question, Bobby. You've drove trucks a long time, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have a new kid that just came in, right, that you train and whatever, and you go put him on Mount Eagle right now where it's snowing right now, and they tell you, we need to get you off that truck. We're going to put the young guy in because we think he can stay up all night. Would you put him on that truck going down Mount Eagle?
Yeah, but that's not even a good comparison, Billy. I mean, that's not even a close comparison.
It's the same thing. It is a wreck waiting to happen. And I don't want to see that.
Well, do you think if it was closer in practice?
Yes.
That he would play if it was closer?
Yes.
So his practices must be really bad.
It has to be. I mean, you're talking 3-4 picks or
But we've got some expert coaches watching us. They should know just how the practice are going because they're there.
Something, man. It has to be something going on.
What about this? Schamberger out for academics.
I didn't even know that was even an issue. I was wondering, but I guess he didn't do his grades. Everybody else did the grades.
Said he wouldn't be back for the rest of the season. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you got to be
got to do the work. You
got to be eligible to play. You got to go to class. You got to pass class. I mean, that's part of their situation. They have to have a certain GPA before they start losing scholarships. So that's part of the piece. They have to have that work.
All right. Anything else on that? What do you think about I was going to ask you about this, Lane Kiffin. Did you guys see that video?
I didn't get to see it.
Did you see the video, Billy?
I saw it, man.
You didn't see the video?
Is it on YouTube?
Oh,
It's
absolutely. It's
everywhere.
everywhere.
Man. It's
yeah,
everywhere,
you got it. It's on
man.
everything.
It's probably the hottest thing that's on the net right now.
Oh yeah, it was
man.
going crazy yesterday.
Really?
Oh yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
man. It's
Well, let's see if we can find it.
Well, I was going to ask Billy, what do players think of a coach who acts like that on the sideline?
They love it, man. I mean, that's the part that the kind of coach I say that every kid deserves, and that's a player's coach that you can relate to any situation whatsoever. And then you see what he just did.
That's it right there.
He is actually doing what the kids love to do. Have fun.
Have fun.
And that's what he did. I mean, he's been doing that ever since he's been in the coaching, especially when he got into college coaching. He's been that. I mean, the kids love the guy, man. I mean, there's not anybody that I have talked to that said they don't like Coach Kiffin.
Yeah.
He's a good guy, man. I mean, and I tell people this here. I said if Coach would have stuck it out here at Tennessee, I can't even imagine where we'll be right now.
I feel that way all the time.
We'll be in the 10-win column now.
Well, I say, I mean, you guys know that I'm.
Whoops.
I told you that that's what we got going here.
We got a commercial. I don't know what happened there.
Well, I think he's like one of the better in-game coaches I've ever seen. Like a few years ago, whenever he left Alabama before the championship game, he lost. He's why they lost.
Yeah, he does a good job with that.
Yeah.
He does. I mean, I've seen him, come out at halftime and adjust to situations, and he does what I said you have to do with the kids. If the kids are not working with the scheme I do, I'm going to figure out what they do well.
Absolutely.
And then do it. And that's what you see he's doing. Every school you've been to, that's what's happening. He's putting points up.
He got Crompton drafted. Crompton does not get drafted without him. Absolutely.
All right, we're going to play this.
All right,
I haven't seen it yet, so this will be a live reaction.
All right.
All right. Let's see. I'm going to put it right there. All right, here we go.
No party like a Lane Kiffin party, because a Lane Kiffin party can cover 60 yards. Folks, this replay is insane.
Watch the celebration by Lane Kiffin. Hands are already up.
He hadn't even thrown the ball yet. He used to do that at Alabama.
He starts at the 38. He loses the clipboard at the 47, and he sprints all the way down out of the headset to the 26 in a fist pump.
I got to watch that again.
Because a Lane Kiffin party can cover 60 yards. Folks, this replay is insane.
He used to do this at Alabama all the time.
Yeah.
The celebration.
He's already got the arms up right there. Boom.
By Lane Kiffin. Hands are already up. Ball is not even out of his quarterback's hands.
He starts at the 38. He loses the clipboard at the 47.
The clipboard's went into the stands. They had to go to the stands to get the clipboard.
Out of the headset to the 26.
Oh, that is fantastic.
Yeah.
That is fantastic. Let's delete that. That is great. Wow. He used to do that all the time at Alabama. You know that?
Yeah, yeah. And sometimes it weren't so obvious. Like you didn't.
Oh,
even
yeah.
guess. Yeah. So that one was obvious. Even one of the players on the field was pointing to the wide open wide receiver. So.
What was the final score in that game? Oh, did I mention? I got to brag a little bit.
Okay.
Friday night we do our pick-ems. Billy wasn't on the show. I went up there. It was late. I didn't get into town. The traffic was horrible getting into town, and so I did my pick-ems. I picked out 7. There's several of them I looked at, but it was 7 of them. I wrote them down. How many do you think I got right?
All of them.
Absolutely, all of them. $100 paid $10,000, and Billy went back. He didn't believe that I really picked these. He thought I scribbled this down on paper like the next day afterwards.
Yeah.
He went back and watched them. Tell him, Billy, how many did I actually pick right?
So let's tell you guys what he also said on the show, so I can give you guys the real, truly basic recipe that he used.
All right.
He took 12 games that he took 7, but he talked about 12. 5 of them he didn't take because he wasn't sure about them. But of those 12 games, he said he had all correct, all 12 of them.
That's what I'm talking about. I
But
am a
the recipe
genius.
that he said, you know what? I'm going to do what Billy would do.
I did not say that. Now you start telling the truth. I'm like, okay, he's
Billy
fixing to lie here. Then I'm all right. He's actually telling the truth. I'm surprised. And then he starts going in. I knew he was going to tell
Hey,
a
when I said that, I said genius. That's why he won. It's about time he listened to the young guys.
I'm going to be undefeated the rest of the season.
And then there you go.
I'll make so much I'll even be able to buy the Tennessee Tap House.
And I would love to do that then. I need to start staying off the show and just listen to your picks. And I go here. Matter of fact, fly me to Vegas and I'll just pick it in the picks.
You tell everybody every week, whatever Catfish does, do the opposite.
Oh, yeah, because he went 7-0,
What would it
guys.
have done for you this week?
He went 7-0, guys. So typically, that's what's called one-hit wonder.
One-hit wonder.
Hey, I could have bet $20 on every game that I've picked this year and still been in the black by a bunch with that 7-game parlay.
Yeah, man. Every once
Sorry
in a
to get
while.
sidetracked, but that Lane Kiffin,
I know.
he was one of my picks. I think
was
that's
he?
why I brought it up.
Every
Yeah,
blind
they were
squirrel
favored by
finds them
7.
every now and then.
No, that's not a blind squirrel if you get 7. Blind squirrel, you get 1 out of 7. That's a blind squirrel, Billy.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
All right, I'm sorry to take over your show.
No, we're doing good. This is what we want to talk about, right? It's ball. So we talked about Kiffin, but now we talk about Tennessee Vols here. We got Auburn coming up. They're going to be missing some players. Got some key players missing. What do you think about that? We got a shot this weekend?
Well, we have to. We need to show up. We need to do what I continue to say is win our up-front battles, our one-on-one battles. Our offensive line, defensive line has to step up to be able to give us a chance to win. It doesn't matter which one of the quarterbacks in with Tennessee. I don't care if Bailey back there, if our offensive line is not doing a good job up front, he won't be successful. No matter if he throws the quick short pass or whatever, they're still going to have to come up with some type of game plan for him to get rid of the ball a lot sooner. What offensive line we got is not going to work. It's going to take us being able to run the ball first to be able to help those young guys out. I don't care if it's JG, Bailey, heck, even me. It's still going to need that offensive line up front. Our defensive tackles will have to make the offensive line of Auburn work. Because right now our defensive ends, I'm pretty happy with what they've been doing. Because typically what's been killing us is our DTs are getting washed or they're getting spread where the quarterback has all day to see the whole field. So until we get that up front, we probably won't win another game.
Well, everybody wants to put all the blame on JG, all the blame on Pruitt, which they deserve blame.
Well, all the blame has to go on Pruitt, right, because he's the head coach.
Yeah, but the second-string quarterback is always the most popular in the Chicago. That's what I hear people at Chicago say all the time. And quarterbacks get way too much credit and way too much blame. But if you watch that, man, I am just disappointed in our offensive line and our wide receivers. Our offensive line, there's no way. We've got more stars than the stars in the sky on that offensive line.
Mm-hmm. And I told you how many
and
stars
we can't block anybody. We can for a little while, but then it goes away. I don't know what happens.
Well, I'm going to tell you what happens. You know those stars that you've been talking about, these 5 stars and stuff? Well, whenever they get knocked in the mouth, they have the Looney Tunes stars going around their head. Until they get those stars back in their head, we're going to be playing scared the rest of the year. Because everybody knows our weakest link is our offensive line and defensive line.
Well, they got the physical gifts. How do you get them to play that way?
Coaching.
Yeah, but what do you do? What do coaches have to do? I mean, obviously they hear us talking about it. If you see them in interviews, they all say they have to do it. They all know they have to do it. So how do you get them to say, do it?
They do for a half.
So here, most of the time, everything is mostly psychological.
Right.
When you talk to kids and make kids understand the process and you teach them how the process works instead of telling them to do it, it makes a totally difference.
So they need better teachers.
Exactly. Because you can't tell me that Liberty is that much better than the talent we got over there.
Right.
It's called coaching. He giving them kids something. He's talking to those kids like they're Alabama.
Yeah. And what I was saying for years about Butch Jones was everybody kept telling me, well, he doesn't have players, but I see all these players in the NFL.
Yes.
Under achieving here, going there and getting on starting rosters and playing in the league. So I just always felt like that people make too many excuses for these coaches and players. And I know a lot of teams that we out-recruit every year, and they still outperform us. So it's got to be coaching.
It always starts there. It starts with the coaching. They got to put out a better recipe.
Yeah.
They got to give these kids something or some way to make them have fun.
But wasn't Will Friend, and I see you, Cody, said Will Friend will be fried. Wasn't he like a coveted position coach at offensive line?
I thought wasn't he offensive coordinator at Colorado when they called him over? Wasn't he? And then they brought him here as offensive line coach.
He was, but you still got to go look at wins and losses.
Yeah. Yeah, there's something.
I mean, he's a nice guy. Billy and I've got to talk to him. He's a really nice guy, but we need somebody to coach.
Well, they just got to get back to the basics, man. The basics, they got to start from scratch. They got to,
how do we know they're not going back to the basics?
That's what I'm saying.
How do we know that?
We don't know that because, I don't know because I don't get a chance to go over there. We can't go over there anymore. I mean, I don't see the kids. But the only thing I go about is what I see on that TV, and what I see on that TV is no progression.
We'll block for a half. Man, we were getting 6, 7, 8 yards a run that first half against Arkansas, and then the second half we couldn't even get back to the line of scrimmage.
Well, is that because the other coaches are out-coaching us? They're adjusting to what we're doing and out-coaching us?
100%. It's almost as if we go to the halftime. Any game that we are doing great the first half, it's like there's no adjustments. They continue what they've been doing the first half and thinking it's going to continue to work.
Yeah.
We up, 13-0 on Arkansas.
Yeah.
And we came back and tried to do the exact same thing.
Absolutely.
Offensively and defensively. We didn't change the defense into the fourth quarter where we started doing twists and all that stuff with the D-line that confused the offensive line to get pressure on the quarterback. That's the only change that I saw, that it still had a chance to go out there and win, but offensively we didn't change anything.
Yeah.
Well, I take issue with that. I know you're the football legend and I'm just a truck driver. But dang it, Billy, Fred White's told us that Spencer Riley would go out there and tell you, we're running right, we'd run right. When you got an offensive line like y'all had, it didn't matter what – you didn't need to make any adjustments. You just took man in front of you and you pushed him into the dirt. You didn't need to have an adjustment to do that.
Oh, we had adjustments.
Well,
at halftime, the adjustments were made.
What kind of adjustments do you make on an offensive line? I mean, you block different or schemes or what?
I'll tell you what it is. What did Eric Westmoreland tell you?
The bench?
A starter would not like the bench if he knows the guy behind him is better than him or just as good. Because when I play football, you ask anybody, I tell them this here. If you lose your spot, you won't get it back.
Okay.
So that's what Eric
but when you're a bad mama jama like Trey Smith is and Darnell Wright and Wanye Morris and all that, when you bad, it don't matter what kind of adjustments you do. I think you ought to be able to at least get your running back to the line of scrimmage or 2 or 3 yards. We weren't even doing that.
I agree with you, but you got to understand this here. That defensive lineman that is across from you, he made adjustments too.
All right. I'll be quiet now.
You got to understand it, man. Defensive players, offensive players, when you go, it's adjustments all over the field. You know, if you got whooped that first half, you don't want to get beat the second half. You want to try to overcome those battles that you lost. You know, that's how it works. The games are won in practice.
Yeah, but every week, though, we were first half we'd be running. I'd like, man, if we can do this all game, we'll win 40-0.
Easy.
Yeah, we've won a lot of first halves.
Easy.
I'd rather be good in the second half and not so good in the first half. You're going to pick a half.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's why, as a athlete, a player, or whatever, most coaches always come at halftime, and the first thing they say, "Hey, new ball game, guys, 0-0. Let's go out here and win this half."
Well,
not 13-0. We saying 0-0. So we go out here and win this half, we win the game.
And JG looked great the first half against Arkansas,
but he didn't play the second half.
That's true, but I'm just saying.
But everybody got what they wanted with the backup quarterbacks, and they saw the difference then.
I just can't believe it's that much difference.
You see it.
I mean, there usually is a big difference between college starters and college backups for sure. But, I mean, you brought in some pretty good recruits, and knowing what we have now that hasn't performed real well, it just seems
and I compare
a little bit startling, that's for sure.
And this is what I compare it to. NFL quarterbacks. NFL quarterbacks, their backups, don't ever think they're getting in the game.
Well, most of the time the backup's not even really thinking about that.
Unless
anyway.
you're with Dallas.
They're helping coach the team practically, right? Aren't they watching for signals? And most of them are sticking around because of their ability to do that, not necessarily play football.
Yes, and you look at it now. Any team in the NFL right now that has to go with a backup, they look lost.
Yeah, that's just true.
Look at Dallas. Dallas, they faded. I mean,
so you're saying first team reps makes the difference?
It's called that. I don't think they practice as much like that with the NFL. I mean, they know that they're not going to get in the game in a sense because quarterbacks don't get touched.
Yeah,
you can't touch them.
It makes me think of Nathan Peterman. You guys remember him? I mean,
how he made it to the NFL, I had no idea.
But he went to Pittsburgh.
Told everybody
and he
that.
had
I know
right
you did.
coach. He went to Pittsburgh and he had the right coach.
Yes.
And they taught him well, and then he goes to where was he playing?
Buffalo,
first?
I think.
And he had a few good games there, but then it was.
He's a backup with someone. I forgot who. He's still in the roster somewhere now.
Is he?
Yes.
Well, he's at the Raiders for like a training camp, but then he got released, I think. Anyway.
Let's check and see what Nathan Peterman.
What else we got? We got coaches.
We already talked about the coach's pay cut.
Yeah, we already talked about that.
I wouldn't take no pay cut because toilet paper feet to get expensive and everything else.
All right.
What else we talking? Oh,
quarterback transfers. I guess that kind of goes with what we were just talking about. Yeah. So these guys, where's he at now?
He's still with the Raiders right now.
Still with the Raiders. All right. So Nathan Peterman is still with the Raiders.
He's active.
Yeah. I think Tyler Bray, he's still playing, right? He's still out there. So, and of course our
Tyler Bray still on the roster.
He's still in Chicago, right? Didn't he start? He started a game this year, I think. Yeah.
I mean, Tyler's a good. He has a good arm.
I like Tyler Bray, man. I really like Tyler Bray. I liked the way he played. I liked his attitude.
I don't know. He always sort of made me wince a little bit whenever he would throw the ball sometimes because you didn't know it's going to be who he was throwing it to sometimes.
He was a gamer. I liked him.
I don't know about that. So these quarterback transfers, I guess these guys, I mean, I don't know if there'll be that many transfers this year like there has been because, I mean, everybody's got a free year. You think there's going to be more?
I think we're going to have 2 or more leave. I do.
Really?
I really do. Because everybody right now, so let's put it this way. If this year doesn't count, and let's say that JG decides, hey, I need another year to get prepared. This year I didn't do well, which he didn't. He's not.
Right.
He knows he would not be Tennessee's quarterback next year. He knows that. So
JG knows that?
Oh, he knows that. If he don't, he better put it in his head right now.
How does he know that, though? Because of the guy that's coming in?
There's guys coming in, and they got a guy that everybody really wants to play for him
Harrison
right now.
Bailey.
They already got somebody for his job right now.
So what you're saying is Stroud, Meyer, and JG, if they're not satisfied with playing backup, they need to go somewhere else. So you say all 3 of them might be leaving.
Gone.
Wow.
And I can see them going out west somewhere and show out.
But that to another Division I team or to
they all will be Division I teams.
Really?
All of them will be.
Really?
These kids are good, man. They're good. They've been recruited very highly. All these kids were recruited by all the top teams in the SEC. We got them because we had an opportunity at quarterback for them to come in and play right away.
Yeah.
They came in, evaluated, and they didn't make the first team.
Well, Danny Hall over here on Facebook said, Bobby, you say they're bad mama jama, but really they ain't. It's the hype. and players going to camps to get those stars. Stars don't mean a thing when the ball is snapped. You're either nasty or you're not. Well, I thought we had some nasty linemen. I was wrong. I admit it. I was on that train all preseason. I said, man, these guys are nasty. I got to watch Trey Smith and his little
we saw
10-second clip at practice where he bulldozed some kid. I want somebody that'll just go up there and maul you.
We saw it last year, though, in Wanya Morris. Saw him, driving people into the ground. Mm-hmm. Trey Smith, there were all kinds of videos all off-season of him making plays, burying 2 guys on a play, right? And then,
Yeah, but that's just one play now. I'm starting to see the light.
Cade
That's
Mays,
just one play. I want to see it every play.
We got tape on all these guys who said they should be players. The only people we didn't really have tape on is Darnell Wright, and that's it. Everybody else we should be out there playing. Something's happened.
I'm starting to see the light. I'm starting to see the light, Billy.
Well, I've been putting it up there, but you wouldn't open your eyes.
Well, we need to get if I got to go out there, I can play dirty. You talking about nasty? I can play dirty for a play, one play.
Hey, that gets you ejected now, Bobby.
No.
What else we got?
Oh, who's a Titans fan? You a Titans fan?
Absolutely a Titans fan.
Hey, the Titans.
So what's right and what's wrong with the Titans?
Defense.
That's both right and wrong, or wrong?
That's wrong mainly.
Yeah, they did a lot. I'm saying they haven't did what I keep saying is you got to change some stuff up if it ain't working. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just because it worked these first few weeks or whatever, it's not going to continue to work. You got to change some stuff up, and they're not having fun like they did the first few weeks.
Yeah.
They figured out Mr. Henry.
Yep.
Just keep him going sideways. You got a chance. Because if he start hitting north and south, there's nothing you can do with him.
Yeah. Now, what about they're really bad on 3rd and long? How does a team – what do you got to do? You got to have pass rush, right?
It's pass rush. You know, if you don't get a pressure on that quarterback, he got time to throw, and especially NFL quarterbacks, you give them 3-4 seconds to throw that ball, they're going to find somebody open.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to start streaming. We won't be able to show the game, maybe a few seconds of it here or there, but we're going to start streaming the Titans games on the Volunteer Roadshow. Got a couple guys wanting to do that. So we got a lot of Titans fans, but I tell you, the Titans hadn't done much since old Derrick Henry put old Josh Norman into orbit. They ain't done much since then, have they?
Yeah.
They still have it, man. I think they're changing around, man. You got to think of some of these teams they're playing being good teams, man. And last week when they played the Colts, oh, man, Colts are good.
Yeah, Steelers are good.
Yeah, Steelers are good.
Now the Bengals, I don't understand that, but
I still don't understand that.
Yeah, but
if Josh Norman was smart, he'd have went up to Derrick Henry after the game and got him to sign his jersey. You know how valuable that jersey. This is the jersey I got sent to Mars on.
Yeah.
And got Derrick Henry to sign it.
They're not letting them exchange jerseys right now, are
Why?
They? COVID stuff.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. I think somebody was telling me that they're not allowed to exchange jerseys right now. So. Well.
And how does a quarterback? This is kind of relates to Tennessee. How does a quarterback like Tannehill, who got basically run into the ground and didn't do much in Miami, and he goes to the Titans, and bam, he's a great quarterback.
Coaching.
He went through a lot of coaches in Miami too.
Offensive line's really good in Tennessee, and it was
offensive line.
Yeah.
You said it perfectly. And I keep on, and my comparison that I always throw to that situation is Joe Burrows.
Yeah, Courtney Dugas, Mr. Dugas on YouTube does LSU videos. I remember the year before they won the championship, he used to have a video after video of how Joe Burrow's not their future. Get him out of here. We need that young kid who's starting this year. We need him. We need to get our future going. Joe Burrow, he got ran out of town at Ohio State. He's no good. He can't hit the broadside of the barn. He even said he couldn't hit the deck of the ocean from the deck of the Titanic.
Yep.
Was one of his sayings about Joe Burrow. And the very next year, he was the Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, of Courtney Dugas.
Drum roll. Didn't I tell him so?
Yep, you told him on video. We got it.
Great quarterback, man. You just got to get someone in there to teach them and show them how to make it work, how to be a quarterback, how to be good, you know. Some of these guys forgot how they were good at quarterback, and they're trying to change the mechanics and do things their way. Teach them how you've been taught. If it worked for you, I'm surely it will work for them.
Yeah.
I just goes to show you, they were saying the same about Joe Burrow the year before the national championship. The exact same thing as what they're saying about JG.
Exact same thing. And I told Mr. Dugas that week when I was on vacation, we did that video together, me and him, and we talked about LSU. I told him the exact same thing I'm telling you guys about JG. And everybody going to say, so you trying to compare JG to Joe Burrows? I'm not comparing. I'm saying the mechanics are there. It's how you teach them how to become that better quarterback.
All right, Winky, in the words of Donald Trump, you're fired.
Yeah.
Does it work that way?
I don't think so.
I'm a taxpayer.
I don't think it works that way.
Oh.
It would be nice if you can do it that way, but it don't work.
If you don't fire him, Jeremy Pruitt, you're fired. Get Will Friend out of here, too, and Ainsley. We need to just clean house.
Start all over again?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, we're going to be doing this every Monday. Y'all want to come down here and eat lunch with us? We're going to eat lunch afterwards. I'm going to eat healthy this week, Billy. I'm eating healthy.
You only had wings.
I'm not telling you.
Didn't
No, I'm not telling you what I'm ordering.
Oh.
But y'all can come down here and have lunch with Billy, and I'm Jeremy, and his one of his workers, Mike, might be joining us. I don't know.
What do they get when they come down and mention the?
They get free sweet tea. Can't beat
tea.
that with a wooden stick, and you get 10% off of your meal.
Wow, that's pretty good. It's a pretty good deal.
Real good deal.
Now, Blue Water Climate Control.
Yeah, tell them about Blue Water.
We just started cleaning ductwork. We were partnered with a local company, Marshall Cleaning Service. Real good company, real good owner. I think we're going to be at Billy's house here in a couple of days, cleaning his ductwork, getting him in some indoor air quality equipment. We're really excited about that partnership. Before, what we were doing is we were cross-promoting. He was promoting us, I was promoting him, and what we kept running into was they would be out somewhere and they'd find some sort of HVAC problem that they couldn't take care of, and we'd go out. So now what we've done is I've put one of my guys on his truck. And so when we go out and we clean ductwork, we can do everything that needs to be done right there in one visit. Don't have to call someone back, because I know how much of a pain it is for people to get off work, to be at home whenever people are trying to work on their house and all that. And just the idea of you're just there and they're strange people in your house, you know.
Are you going to tear the house upside down? Do I need to move my stuff in the studio, or do y'all come in and we don't even know you're there?
Oh, well, you'll know we're there, but we're going to clean ductwork, and we do it with this machine they have, which you guys will be able to see. It's real impressive. Got the bags that blow out the top, and
I need to get to see my aunt.
Making a big mess or anything, so be able to take care of it. You guys are going to like it.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. That's it. Blue Water Climate Trust.
That clean air might be what I need to get out of this hole I'm in. Will it help you lose weight?
If you put this in and you run on the treadmill, it will help you lose weight. So
yes, it helps you. It helps your oxygen level.
Man, I couldn't get any oxygen yesterday. Isaac wore me out in basketball.
See, you was outside.
Yeah, quit playing with these young kids, man.
I beat him the first game, 7-5. And then he came back. I couldn't hardly move. I had to take a break. He said, "Come on, man, let's go." I finally got water, and I said, "All right, let's go up there." After about 2 or 3 shots, I said, "I can't go." So I just let him win.
See, I told him to let you win one game so you won't, so you can always go out there and think you got a chance.
Hey, I was on fire that first game. I don't care what anybody says. You can make fun of me if you want to.
So what's the score been after that 7-5?
It ain't been very good. 7-1, 7-3, 7-2.
You're a good first half team too.
I'm a good. If I get the ball first and we play make it take it, I'm good for 2 points.
Good first half team too.
And that's it.
Well, if you notice, I haven't been out there to play them, right? I'm not going to do that to myself. That's too much work.
Yeah.
These knees don't allow me to move the way I used to move, so I'll just sit there and watch y'all from the window.
Yeah, both my sons are 4 inches taller than me, so I stopped playing them a long time ago.
We got somebody over here, Wampus75, said, should South Carolina hire Bill Belichick? Bill Belichick, if he's not at the Patriots, he's on the beach somewhere forever. And David Newcomb says, fire Chris Winkie. Plus, we got the Caden Salter coming in, another high-rated 4-star. Wish I had a Donald Trump, you're fired meme for Muschamp. Yep. How you doing? How you doing, David? How you doing, Wampus? I think we're going to get on out of here. You want to close it up?
Yeah, I guess that's it. Got anything else?
I'm hungry.
Yeah, me too.
I got some good food. I'm going to order something. I ain't telling you what it is because Billy done me wrong the last time.
Now wait till you see I do today, then.
What you gonna do?
Yes,
You don't act like you're not gonna eat. Don't even act like that. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Go Vols. I went 7-0 this weekend. I'm gonna go 12-0 next weekend because I really went 12-0 this weekend. I promise you that.